an extent that, you know, I have pretty good judgment. Okay, so yeah, so when you listen to yourself, this is why I suggested you take the 30-day solo test, right, or challenge, and you can see it's already paid off quite a bit, because there you are, you know, 3 years ago, but not playing consistently in one place on the surface, and now in your latest video, you're playing in one place on the surface with some sense of attack, right? And so there's that. You can already see the change. Now, the gig is, though, that when you're playing, see, it's not about how fast it is. But if you're going to play a paradiddle thing, you can hear where the groove is. See, it has form to it. It just doesn't sound like a wash of notes. Now you've got a much better attack. But now I want you to take that concept, and you mentioned that you couldn't get your system to work so that the loop wasn't playing, or maybe it was only playing in your ear. Was it playing in your ear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to set it up different to get it onto the video, one way or another.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're playing to a loop. It just sounds like a wash. You have to find ways to occasionally polarize thing. Actually, it's okay to play on the one sometimes. You know, in other words, you want to give the audience or the band some idea as to where you are and establish some kind of form that makes you want to dance. And we're not talking about free jazz, you know, avant-garde. You're out in the forest and you hear the birds chirping, and you know, there's rustling in the trees, and you heard a clap of thunder in the distance, and that's not what we're doing necessarily, although there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's another way of expressing yourself on an instrument. Or what you're doing can have those qualities, but we're trying to get you're playing to a loop, right? And so by actually getting the loop to play, so you can listen back to yourself, so you can tell whether or not you're part of the dance. See, what's interesting is you suggested, and it was really good thinking. I never thought of it. No one else ever thought of it. You said, hey, why don't you just turn down the drum track? It's like, yeah, I'll try that. And I did. But, you know, some of these loops are kind of wimpy to begin with. And so I've realized once you turn the drums off, now you've got this, I don't know.
It's not tight.
Well, it is.
Sometimes.
Well, it is tight. Everything is quantized.
One that wasn't that tight.
Everything is quantized in, right? And yet what's neat is if you have the drum part playing a neat pattern, and you can catch that, it's really neat. Locks right in. It's like, is that a drum machine, or and then you can solo over it, and you don't have to catch every bop ba ba da. You can play, and if you're playing really cleanly, it'll go bop ba ba da, and it'll be in sync with what you're playing. So it can be a neat challenge to have that drum track up in the mix and to learn how to really lock in with it, right? And it can provide you some freedom. So both ways are cool, but that's been my learning experience with or without the drums in the mix. So let's take a look. Let's talk about so that you're able to look at a video from 3 years ago and notice that you really weren't landing in the same place in both hands, right? And so that's really a big part of this technique. And if you watch your more recent video, it's like, now you're making much better contact with the instrument. Now, let's take that further. Let's consider making really good contact with the instrument. And I know we've been playing alternating flams. I know that we got into the feint and flam, right? We've gone through the flam and feint and the flam and stroke, right? But let's just refresh. Let me just see with no metronome. Let me just see alternating flams. Go ahead and play that for me. Okay, stop for a minute. Okay. You have to decide whether you're going to turn towards the ceiling for the appoggiatura, or whether you're just simply going to bend from parallel, which is
trying to bend from parallel.
Well, it started off that way. Your right was more consistent, but your left started to turn up. And then your right copied it, right? And so good. It is a certain discipline involved with learning how to just turn and throw. Nice and solid, relaxed and comfortable. So go ahead and play for me, and let's see if we can just leave that beat down, or turn. Martinez calls it ending deep, turning from parallel. Okay. So go see if you can maintain that discipline. It's harder than you think, isn't it? Interesting, isn't it? You're not asking for much. You're asking for less, and you're not required to turn the bead towards the ceiling at all. You're just going to let it drop. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay. All we're really doing is we're feeling this. Just this. Let it fall. Just letting it fall. Go ahead and try that. Okay, so go ahead and put a stick in your hand. Now it's going to feel a little bit different, right? Now we have to be mindful. No, I didn't mean for you to duplicate that experiment. Now we're going to go back to the surface, right? So first of all, we've established the floor, which is parallel. That means that the forearm is going to be parallel. Okay. We've decided that. Now we recognize that although we might not be using the fulcrum in the hand for a rebound, that fulcrum is always available, and we have to decide which fulcrum we're going to use, right? I've decided that I'm going to use the middle finger, okay? And so we have the floor, we have a parallel forearm, a parallel bead to butt end, the stick is, from the playing surface. And we've decided that we're going to take advantage of the middle finger, use that as our fulcrum. We're going to create the grip, keep the guide on, right? So we're holding this thing up, right? We're trying to feel as little as possible. We are going to feel something because you're holding the stick up. We're not feeling this, are we? No, we're feeling this. We're also not feeling this. We've decided we're going to hold something in this position, which means we're holding the hand in position as well. Or it would do this, right? Which is what we just did. Okay, so we're not doing that yet. So go ahead and try that. Let your arm hang, bring it up, put it in position, right? Okay, now go ahead and put a stick in it. Okay, so we know that if we wanted to do nothing at all, the whole assembly would collapse. What we're also aware of is that if we wanted to do less than hold this assemblage up, we could just let the wrist go. But we're not. We're not letting the wrist go. Not yet. We're maintaining this position. So we feel the weight of the stick that we countervailing, we have to hold it up, right? And so all we really want to do is just let it drop. Okay? I just want you to let it drop. I want you to feel the weight of the stick. If you really feel the bead just going bloop, 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 just as that. I get that, as opposed to this. It goes doop, doop. See, the forward bend of the wrist motivates the upward motion of the forearm. In this case, because we're making an up, and then we're going to follow that up. And notice how straight the stick is. It goes a little bit like your t-shirt. It goes up, following a particular path, and then it comes down following a particular path. So we're getting this to this. No, it's this. Follow it up a little bit. This. Go ahead and follow it up more. Look at the stick. Yeah, look at this. The stick going up. Imagine if the beads were on the bottom. I might prefer that shirt if the beads were on the bottom. It'd be more akin to what we're trying to do. Right? We're leaving the bead down and going up, but it doesn't matter. You get the ideas.
You could be using them backwards.
Be one of those sticks where they have beads at both ends. Okay, so we're just letting it fall this way, and then we follow it up. We follow it up. Now, why do I feel as though it comes down, it's kind of wimpy, like there's no grip? Let's try to figure that out. Why? So let's see how that works, right? Because we're trying not to slam, And yet we want this firm attack. Not loud, but firm. So we're doing this, and this, this, and this, this, and this. See, in this case, there is a squeeze and release, right? You've made contact, and then I feel the system close. Then I feel the system close. I feel the system go from this to this, this to. See how the fingers work? We'll go ahead and do that. Take the stick out of your hand and see if you can feel. See, they're open, and then they're going to close. Feel them open and close? Do that again. Do it again. See, as the forearm comes down. Now go ahead and make a little throw with no stick. Okay. Now we're going to imagine that perhaps we are holding something. See, it's a little different because now you have to incorporate the weight of a stick in your hand. But so if I was to go up, it would just look like this. If I was holding a stick, it would look like this, and then it would look like that. Release, squeeze, release, squeeze, but I'm not squeezing. The hand does that itself from the wrist. See, the fingers come towards the palm. They're almost touching the palm. Almost, not quite. Right? And then they go away from the palm a little bit, and then they come back to where they were, almost touching the palm. Okay, put a stick in your hand now and try that on the pen. Make your upstroke. I want you to tap. Let the system close. You can feel the fingers come towards the palm. It almost feels as though there's a slight closure on the way down, but then the finishing of that closing happens as a follow through. But you don't do it. You don't do it. You notice it. Right, come on, I want you to tap, go up, and get. Now I want you to learn how to actually make sure that we're actually going up. There's a bit of a bigger up than you were doing, right? And then we're going the other way. We're tapping and then going the other way. And the thing falls smoothly. You don't control it. It's going to come down a nice zonk. Right? Just do this. Just do this. Just do this. See? Everything stops. You don't do anything on purpose. The system is self-regulating. So it's going to bomb, fall, boom. Watch. It's a nice song. See how it comes up? See the path it follows? And then it goes zonk. And I'm not squeezing on purpose. Whatever happens, happens. Now, all you need to do is make a little tap, and then there's some feeling too. Now you've got the weight of your arm. I want a bigger up. I want you to let it drop and then follow it up with the bead down. There you go. There you go. There you go. Feel Richard Wilson would talk about the torque that you feel as you come down. You feel the torque. Yeah, come on up here. Okay. Feel it in the middle finger. Do you feel it in there? You got to feel it there. Okay, that's your thinking. And now you're going to feel the torque. The torque. Feel this. Ah. Go slowly. Just show me the motion more slowly so that I can see that you're relating to. It's a lever. It almost feels like you're leveraging this thing up, and it's going to force your forearm down. Ah. No. Can you do it slowly? Just for remedial purposes. I don't, that's, watch. I can't stop it. You see, somehow you go like this, and then it goes. I'm not sure what. For me, it's this whole thing. I've leveraged it up, sent it up, and now it's going to come, and now it's just going to fall down. Right again. Don't let the stick fly out of your hand. Don't throw the energy away. Watch, watch. Up, and then I'm not doing this. I'm not going tap. I think you're doing some of that. It's the tap. So there's a little relaxation. Fingers respond to the bending of the wrists. Right? So we're getting that, and then if I do it in slow motion, let's see. If I was torquing in slow motion, the stick isn't even leaving my palm, and yet somehow I ask you to torque in slow motion, and we get this. Go ahead and torque in slow motion. Your forearm didn't come down. See, you're not feeling this. Go ahead and torque. Yeah, but by now, your forearm, so no, the forearm doesn't stop at the end. Watch. It's as if the downward motion of the forearm and the downward motion of the bead would catch up with one another. But can you do it in slow motion? You torque slowly. But by now you should be heading towards the surface because your forearm is almost finished. It's almost at the floor. Yeah, there's the torque. There's it. Don't go throwing the stick away. It doesn't come down and stop. There you go. Wait at the top just for a minute so you can, now, go ahead and torque slowly and feel that whole thing. There. There. See how slowly you can do it and you still get a thunk? You can do it. There you go. That's much better. All right. Let's take a look at that in the left. Go for it. Let me see an up to a down in the left. Uh-huh. Now your left has learned from your right. There. Did we come up that high? I don't know. I'm coming up to about here. Kind of like your t-shirt, right? Bead is over the surface. Okay. And then again, I feel the torque. You didn't get enough. You didn't get enough upward motion in your stick, in your D on the way up, turn to the ceiling. So if we were going to do it in slow motion, it would be this, kind of like your teeth. Perfect. What does it look like? Wow.
Well, you could print these T-shirts
We get something like this.
for your students.
See? And then it's gonna do this. And then you're gonna catch up and return with that twerk we talked about. So it's as if you come up this high, you want to have some equation going on where you don't come up this high and only bring the beat up this much. But you don't come up this high and go, yeah, because then again, you're trying to get the timing of this downstroke so that the turning of or rotating of the wrist catches up just at the end with the forearm. There. Don't come up too high. I mean, we can come all the way up there if you want, but you're not making that throw. So it just drops, right? Like the right. All it does is it does this. Good. Show me. Show me it with no stick. It just does that, and then it comes back to here. Do it again. Yeah. And then come back. Okay. See, it's a little different than the right. I'm not going to get into that right now. I want to keep going. I'm not going to spend, that's it. When you watch this video back, I want you to see if you can figure out the left is different than the right. Because in the right, it does this. And the left, it does this. A little different. So that's your homework. See if you can dissect some of the differences, or that particular difference that I'm referring to. Okay, now, so we have this, and then we have, follow it up, get this, and I follow it up, this, follow it up, this, follow it up, this, follow it up, this in slow motion. You see that torque? You're going to get that tiny tap. Just show me the tiny tap and stop. Let's just get this part of it. There. See how little it is? That's all it is. Now follow that up. A little more. Tiny bit more. Like we got you to go up in the right. Kind of like your t-shirt. It's almost exactly when you watch this back. You can see it in the monitor. Look. It's almost like the two sticks are parallel. Or to each other, not to the floor, each other. Okay, and then you're going to find that torque that you put in the right there. No, it doesn't just go, oop. No, it's that little thing first. You see, it has to be this, it has to be this, that you follow up, and then get the torque. There you go, better. Okay, now let's see alternating attempts. See if you can do that, so we can keep going. Don't throw the stick away in the right. No, the right isn't feeling this. Just like I had you feel in the left, it just doesn't go like this. Nor does it do that in the right, but you're doing the opposite in the right. You're not moving at all. It just goes like this. Mine goes like this. There you go. Now follow that up. Get the note nope. No, this thing of the wrist motivates the upward motion. It's tiny. But there's some countervalence. it starts to find, what does Richard Martinez call it? Some kind of equilibrium. But then you have to make your torque throw. Other way. Now your left isn't just feeling that little drop. It motivates the upward motion of the forearm. Don't rush the down. I want you to feel the torque. You've got to get a piece of this. Nope, right, move it all. Right has to actually, you will feel some motion. You'll notice some motion. There you go. Follow it up and then give me the torque. There you go. Better in the right. Let's take a look at the left. The left is just, now put the right on automatic pilot. Shift your mind to the left. It's just going to drop and you're going to feel it motivate the upward motion. There you go. Follow it. Torque. Follow it up. Torque. Follow it up. Okay, it's better. But you need to work on it now. All of those parts. But what you just got with regards to an upstroke and not just blowing off, oh yeah, here's an up. No, it's not. No, this is an up. That's your up. That's what you're going to follow it. Then you're going to torque and not throw the energy away and come down without feeling how the hand would close. Maybe you're not feeling how the hand works naturally because I think you were throwing your fingers over. Okay, so we don't want to do that. That's much better. Okay, now let's see. Could work on this. Do you have the flam accent? So take a look at the stroke. Look at flam accent number 2. Okay. So take a look at the stroke. You see that what's happening here is, and this is really important, that we spend the time to look at the stroke because this stroke can be played in different ways based on whatever technique you're using. For this technique, we're using particular up and down motions. Okay, so what we want to identify is how we're going to be moving to play this stroke. Okay, so we know that, let's see, and it might change as the tempo changes, as the speed increases or decreases. So if we're going, so we've got a flam. There's no accent in it. It's a right flam, right? So we have this appoggiatura. We know it's going to make a little turn. No upstroke so far, although we're making an up motion to raise for the right. 1, 2, and we're in 6/8. Then there's a right wrist turn, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So it's as if we're playing 2 small wrist turns at this slow tempo in each hand, right? And a downstroke. So it's a downstroke in the right, then a right wrist turn, then another right wrist turn for the appoggiatura, and a downstroke in the left. Then a left rotation, and then another rotation for the appoggiatura, and a downstroke in the right. So go ahead and play that real slowly without the metronome on. Right? You become frozen. What do I do? Ah! Okay, now this is different than what we were just doing. Let's be clear about that. What we were just doing was, again, using this particular technique, using the single stroke, which means we have an up to a down in one hand. Okay. Right now, that's not happening. It might change. We'll find out. But right now what's happening is now we're getting into what is just a regular wrist turn. Okay. So show me what a regular wrist turn looks like in the right.
You could do it straight down, or you could lift and go down, right?
Well, I'm asking for a, fair enough. I'm asking for a little wrist turn where you turn towards the ceiling a couple of inches or 3 inches. Yeah, a little wrist turn. Okay. Nice and smooth, right to the center. Okay, right. And now in the left, what does a wrist rotation look like in the left? First couple were real wobbly. It just rotates. It's just here, and it just simply rotates. And I get a nice clean thump, and I'm not moving much. Okay, right. Again, I get a nice clean thump, and all I'm doing is turning my wrists. Okay, so go ahead. Keep that in mind, and let me hear the flam accent number 2. Oh, wait a minute. I think it'd be helpful if you counted it. Okay?
1, 2, 3.
There you go. Go ahead.
1, 2. Oops. 1, 2, 3. 1.
4, 5, 6. We're in 6.
1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1.
Can you keep the counting even?
4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
4, 5, 6.
So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2,
How big are wrist turns?
5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to change.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3.
Here's another thing to think about. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking of 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just making 2 taps. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, you see.
But this would be, you don't want to throw there? Just,
Yeah, my taps seem to be about the same. Taps seem
yeah,
to
but a flam would be a throw, right?
be about the same.
Or 2 tap.
So the tap and the appoggiatura seem to be about the same in terms of turn and volume, right? Go ahead, try.
With the flam like this, the throw, right?
Yeah, throw.
1,
A little.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3.
Turn,
4,
turn.
5,
No,
6.
watch my right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Go ahead and play 3, 4. Go ahead and play 3, 4. 3, 4. There. That's what it feels.
These ones aren't the dropping down plan.
Just want 2 wrist turns. And in the left, 2 wrist rotations. Count out loud.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2.
Okay. Now, not make the
4, 5.
rotations too big. Now you're exaggerating it. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're playing some stroke. You playing? You've lost track of the stroke you're playing. Try again.
Well, is this going to come up for the next slam, right? So it's a lot to think about.
Well, watch, Sherry. The right. Watch. The right makes the throw. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all it's doing. So the one hand is going like this, and the other hand is going. That's it. Now I know it does seem like a lot to think about, and you're thinking about your technique. I know, but it's not quite as complicated as you think.
1, 2.
Don't just throw away now. That you want to concentrate. Remember, now the throw doesn't have a little tap. The throw is just going up, and you're getting that torque that we talked about. There you go. Work. Fork. Rotate. Rotate. Turn. Turn. Well, go ahead and put the metronome on at 40. We might want it because you're playing it a little more slowly than 40. But I think you can play it at 40.
Hearing it back, I said, try to figure out how to do that. Guess my input has to come down. One audio adjustment.
Okay.
I still hear it back.
Well, go ahead and turn it down a little bit.
That'd be your end, I think.
Go ahead.
All right. Now you're in my way. All right. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2,
Stop.
3.
See, that's why I always suggest practicing in front of mirrors, because you just threw the downstroke away. It was like, that was your downstroke. Well, the downstroke is this. Remember, you leave it down, go around a fixed point in the universe, and make a throw. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Go for it. Concentrate on each part of it. Don't just throw away the throw. There you go. No, you're playing some other stroke. You're playing another stroke. You lost the sticking. See if you can concentrate through it. And then it's going to be another right, isn't it? It's going to be two rights after that. It's your left, and then the left, and then two lefts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Can you count? 1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But you see, it's not as hard as you thought. You see, and you're making better contact now. You're actually starting to play whichever of the 7 strokes, basic strokes we're using. You're playing them as though there's something real and meaningful, because a downstroke just isn't this, and an upstroke isn't this, where nothing moves. In other words, we have to understand each of the 7 basic strokes. So really, in this stroke, so far, all we're doing is 1, 2. So we have a downstroke and then 2 wrist turns or 2 wrist rotations, right? Now it will change as it goes faster. See, this is one way that you might want to introduce. Rebounds, because now I'm starting to let it rebound. Okay, that's where we're trying to go now. Right? I'm not quite ready to introduce the drag, or reintroduce the drag, which will require making same kind of thing, right? Up to down, up to down. Right? You got to get that going and nice and smooth. How are we going to introduce the rebound? Well, this stroke does have 2 notes in each hand, doesn't it? That precede the downstroke. You see where this could go. So go ahead and put the metronome on. Let's see. Go ahead and put the metronome on at 60. See if you can play it there. Five, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're in 6, so let's pay homage to what's actually written that we're supposed to be reading.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3.
Now you're right. Getting there. But now you're right is. See, it's what you're doing is you went So it's a big turn and a little turn. left was fairly consistent, I thought. See, we're looking for see how the rights are the same?
Mhm.
Go for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They're
1, 2,
the same, not the same. How are you going to? I just gave you a glimpse into where this thing could go, which would be rebound. Well, that would mean a double, playing 2 notes using a rebound. But if you can't get it on the wrist, how are you going to turn it into doubles that involve rebound and the fulcrum in the hand? You see, because the doubles where the fulcrum in the hand is supposed to be the same volume, each note, we're trying to get an evenness, right, to the 2 notes. Well, as it is with the wrist turns, right? This is, in a sense, no different than playing doubles on the wrist for doubles and roll strokes. You know, if we're playing doubles on the wrist. Okay, go for it. Try it again. See if you can get the 2 rights to be the same. Ah, got yourself. No, 2 wrist turns. There you go. So this is already kind of too fast for you. Right? Which is kind of amazing, right? Because just go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do this. Just watch. You see, you can do that. You can do that. Why can't you? Why can't you go? I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to play. I'm playing the wrong stroke. So if we're going like this, at that point, I'm sorry. Maybe that'd be a cool exercise, right? So right. You see, your wrist turn. All we're asking is this. Sorry. How slow that is. It's just this. Yeah, but go both ways. Right. That's all it is. Now play singles just right at that speed, just for fun. There you go. And now play the stroke again. Don't forget to throw on the right. Honest to goodness, throw. Turns out to be the same, so you're playing singles now. Play singles. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a cool exercise. You're stick in position, and I need it.
Okay. Lots of process.
Okay, all right, but you're getting the idea. But you can see it's not very fast, and we haven't even got it to the rebound, right? Is that okay? eventually turn into doubles. See? And then we just make motions. See? It's really easy. We're just using, see, I'm using the very strokes. I'm using a bunch of the tools that we just talked about. We've got the doubles. Now they're in the, now here they are in the rebound. See, and make downstrokes that we talked about. See, all of these pieces are going to come together so that you can start to do that kind of stuff easily. Okay, but not until you can get 2 notes on the wrist. We're not going to take that up into rebound territory until you can get the 2 notes on the wrist, right? Because we know we can turn our wrist this fast. And we can rotate our wrist this fast. So we can do this, right? Not that big a deal. But every piece of it has to be together so that when you put the 7 basic strokes together, whichever are required for whatever stroke we're playing, the thing works. The thing actually sounds like something. And that's the kind of thinking I want you to please bring to your soloing, your 30-day solo challenge, right? I want you to think about what strokes am I using and how can I make them feel nice and solid and form a groove with them while I'm soloing, which is why it's kind of helpful to play with that loop. But this time, you know, you figure out your system so that we can hear it, all right? And so now you have, again, you have your own personal challenge based on some of the work you've been doing because you've insisted that you are going to solo every day and you sound so much better because of it. So you have yourself to thank for that one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you see what's happening. I challenged your mind. We've formed some new engrams. We've dimpled your mind just a little bit more. There's a little more surface space going on now, right? You're that much smarter right now. Okay. Very good. Very cool. I'm going to turn off the recording.
I like making little finger motions.